Hello and welcome to the November 11th Patreon live stream, where you can ask me questions if you've got them. I can show you what I'm up to. So I have been working all month on puppets. So I have some good progress to show you on puppets. The snake is almost done. It's a very, very long snake. Disabled, laid down. Oh, you can't. Oops, upside down. Anyway, the head is kind of blown out in light ways. Anyway, this one's all done except for some paint on the face. The face will have some little cheeks, but I am waiting to paint it until I finish the sea monster. So I'll just get everything all set up to paint. So you see a little bit of the seam of the rickrack, expressing my obsessive nature when it comes to stitching things. It's all little bits of rickrack combined. Now I sent my dad a message. I don't know, we were chit-chatting about it, and he's like, "Oh, why didn't you glue it all together?" And said I tried gluing it together, but it looked bad because it was all chunky and weird. And I said, well, why don't you sew it to some other fabric? And hopefully you can hear me over the heater. I should have turned that off. And I tried that and it looked bad. So the only thing left to do was to sew them together, the little points. And I'm pleased with it, but it took me, I actually didn't keep good tracks. When I'm not billing, when there aren't any billable hours, I don't tend to keep very good track. A month, maybe, a month and a half. I mean, I do have a job that does keep me kind of busy sometimes. So anyway, so this part's done until I paint it. And now I am back to work on the sea monster, which if you've been following me for a while, you will be familiar with this. But I set it aside while I was working on the things for my show. So now I have the torso done, which took a really long time. One day I was working and I made it from like here to about here. I don't know, I was thinking, wow, I'm getting so fast at this. This is great. And then I looked up and it was almost 2 in the morning and I thought it was more like 10. So I wasn't getting faster, I just didn't stop when I should have because I was busy binge watching Sabrina, which there's plenty of problems with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it is entertaining. Let's see. So now I'm up to the arm. I did most of, about this much of it yesterday. And then today's been filled with distractions and odds and ends I have to do for work because my department, my program head has asked us to do this big task to justify all of the assignments and all of the courses we're teaching and write a rationale, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to ask for, but it's very time consuming. So yeah. Ooh, I see a question. Is the snake's armature just a single twist of wire, any magnets incorporated? It's just a twist of wire all the way down. There's a magnet in the mouth. You can't see it, of course, because it's covered up, but it keeps the mouth shut. Because the mouth isn't going to need to be animated, but it does need to open for something that's secret until you see it in the movie. But it's just wire, yeah. So I've got to put a magnet in almost everything, though the sea monster has no magnets because the sea monster is too heavy. And the mouth shut just fine. So I'm hoping in the next few weeks to finish up the sequence because I got kind of off of that schedule that I had made for myself because I felt more like working on puppets than sets. So I just had to rearrange the schedule. But that's nice when I have no real deadline because I can change my mind about what I want to work on depending on how I feel. So hopefully you heard all that over the heater. Let me know if I need to repeat anything. But I do have a nice little layout of items for the antlered one's bed that is actually just here. The bed so far is just foam, but it's going to be covered with some kind of brown fabric. And lots of shells and things to make their bed that I've been collecting over lots of time. I figured out the little top piece of the bed is going to look like this piece of driftwood, and then I'm going to make my balsa wood look like driftwood because I don't have enough driftwood and the ocean is a really long ways away. See, another question. Can I reveal any details about the sea monster's character? Well, I guess I probably have given spoilers before. The sea monster's not good. From the perspective of our main characters, the sea monster is not good. But the sea monster, as with all of the characters I create, has some complexity to her character. So nothing is completely good or completely bad. But she's very significantly larger than the other characters because the other characters are... So the other characters kind of would go from her tail just up to about here. Would go to about here. So the sequins don't seem to affect the movability of it. I don't bend the wires too much while I'm working on it just so they don't break, because while I could get in to fix wires, it would then require a few weeks of stitching to get the sequins back on. So I don't want to break the sea monster beforehand. But it doesn't affect the ability to move the sea monster. So it's really what I've been working on this month since I spoke in the last installment of these live chats. I had hoped to get maybe more done, but I have put in a lot of work on these sequins. Unless you're a very, very, very patient person, I don't recommend sequining your characters by sewing them all on. But there is no other way to make it look the way I want it to look. I had a friend who said, well, why don't you use mermaid fabric? And I'm thinking they must mean the fabric you can buy that already has sequins sewn on it. I don't think that it would mold around the character the way I want it to. I don't know. It'll be great when it's done. Then I need to get a really long fire safe for it. I wish I had a long enough one for it now. I have a gun safe, but that's just for carrying it. The snake and the sea monster can lie side by side in the little gun case. So there you go. That's all I have to share right now. And hopefully by next month I will have some set pieces to show, because maybe more like January 1st, because my last day of class is what day of the week is it? The 7th of December. So things are still a little hectic until then. But then after that, I've got a few weeks to focus completely on my film and holiday stuff, baking, eating, candy making, all that stuff. So anyway, say bye to the reptilian creatures. Is the sea monster reptilian or fishy? Somewhere in between. I don't know. Well, so bye. Thank you for your support. Have a great month. Bye.